Just to take you a second, let me put my ears in
All right. I'm going to go ahead and push it out here
because I'm doing that now so we
on the
don't get
track.
any feedback with the.
Yes, very good.
All right. Oh yeah, that's definitely. This is a lot stronger than the one that was. It's definitely a lot stronger than the one that was.
In my opinion, I
Oh
think
yeah, absolutely. Than
it's a
what we dealt with
good
about an hour
looking
ago.
storm here. Yeah,
Well,
good looking storm.
I was actually outside, and I'm just telling you, to the south, it's just. I mean, it's a lightning show, man. I mean, it's
Yeah, I'm
constant.
looking at it off the Lynchburg camera right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over. Is that all right?
Sure, go.
To
Yeah,
this.
go right ahead, man. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it.
All right. Well, welcome in everybody again to part two of our severe weather coverage this evening. With Southern Tennessee weather time is now 10:48 p.m. and we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for far eastern Lincoln County, and then a good portion of Franklin County here, including Huntland, Belvedere, over towards Cowan, Winchester, Deckard. I think even Estill Springs is included in it. It's a little
Yes.
north, I think, but Huntland, it's about to get rough here in a minute. I think this storm is by far the most impressive we've seen so far this evening. The lightning show is very impressive right now, of 40 to 50 lightning strikes in the past 5 minutes. At one point, that was up to 80 plus lightning strikes just in that little portion of the storm there, as it was coming over Elora and places like that. So just be prepared, Huntland, for some gusty winds over the next few moments here, as this storm pushes off towards the east. And let me check here and see how.
It's 25 miles an hour.
Okay, so
Y-
they got it 25. I think it may be moving a little bit quicker than that, but
I'll go 30.
if yeah, I think it's moving about 30 there.
Actually, let me do this. Let me get off of this because it's more linear. So I'll do this. About 30. Yeah, it's moving east about 30. And I'll move the that out of the way a little bit so that can give you kind of an idea of when Huntland, basically it's at your doorstep now. Literally
Yeah.
it said now. Belvedere is it's tracking up 64. We're looking at about 11 o'clock. Key Springs right there at the base of the mountain, 11:09. And so this part, if it stays east, it looks like it may go just to the south or just kiss Winchester. So we'll just have to wait and see how the storm, as it propagates, keeps going to the east. But definitely you can see. Let me get some stuff off of here so we can see. Definitely, like there's a little bit of Boeing segments here. I'm gonna go ahead real quick and put it back. Go to velocity so we can see what's going on there.
Huntland, if that Boeing segment looks as good as it does on a regular one, we're probably getting some 60 plus mile per hour winds in downtown Huntland right now, I would say. And Huntsville radar might not be sampling that area quite as well.
Mm.
But yeah, sample some of those values there with the velocity and
Whoops. Yeah,
see what.
let's see. North side, where it's kind of, well, that's not what I was trying to do. Let's try that again. Um, 44. I'll go down to Huntland. It's got 23. It's not showing as impressive
Yeah. I
numbers.
think the issue with that is that the radar beam is not running very very well against the thunderstorm motion, so we're not sampling the strongest winds that are coming straight on
Right.
towards the east. It's more you had to have the radar beam that is almost exactly perpendicular to your strongest winds to be able to see that, and it's definitely not perpendicular where
No,
we're at right now. So I'm thinking that there could easily be some wind gusts upwards of 60 miles an hour moving into Huntland right now, and then Belvedere in the next 5 to 10 minutes, fairly
that
soon.
that area right there that we were just mentioning. So anytime you have that Boeing sector, you've got that wind that is pushing this storm out. Even though I'm drawing red over red, you can kind of see it. And that's typically where we would have kind of a pulsing of where the strongest area of the winds would be. So, unlike what we've been talking about, this is 60-mile-an-hour gust, according to National Weather Service Huntsville in their text products talking about this particular storm.
Hmm.
So again, so that's going to be, like I said, going to the east. Yeah, so definitely kind of the same, places we were just talking about, a little bit less than an hour ago. So really, again, kind of at the base of Tim's Fort, so the southern part, kind of in the vicinity of the state park. It's probably down the Awalt Road, the Bluegill, that particular area, especially with the northern part of that storm, and then goes all the way down to Highway 50 as you're headed toward Lynchburg right there. Let me zoom out because I clicked it. And then again, Taylortown, you're right, you're in the sites up next. Lexi Crossroads and Lexi, it's already at your doorstep. The strongest winds are probably already past you now. You're getting some pretty heavy rain on the backside. But Belvedere, like Elijah was saying, it's right at your doorstep too. Walnut Grove, Falls Mill, Brown Mill, Old Salem, Beans Creek. Then the Huntland area has already seen that strongest area. And so if I'm looking more at the strongest area, the good part is maybe a saving grace is it's going to hit probably going over some of the mountain. And so that's not a very populated area, especially when we start getting up there. So that may be, like I said, if we're trying to find silver lining here, that would be it. But again, pretty much up and down this line, you could see the gust of 60-mile-an-hour winds. So just to kind of give you an idea, um, in this, if you're right here in this area, you need to be ready. It'll be coming, like I said, within the next little bit in your area. So,
Hmm.
yeah, and if we just go back out real quick, there's nothing else really. There's some storms behind it there in Marshall County, but this right here is going to be the last hurrah. You can look really down in northern Alabama. It's quite a bit. So we've got just a northern extent of that strongest storm that's kind of etched into, Franklin County at this point. I would say while Lincoln's still under the warning, and you definitely have some heavy rain, maybe some small hail. There's definitely lightning. The strongest part of this storm are the winds at the onset of this rain. So that's really where we're kind of focusing attention to.
Yep. And Amber just posted in the Facebook chat that it's coming down pretty good there in Huntland right now, which is pretty. I think that's pretty spot on with what we're seeing there. With
Absolutely.
with some of the there's very high reflectivity values. So looking at how hard the rain is coming down, easily seeing very very heavy rainfall in this area, and on top of the gustier winds that we could be seeing upwards of 50 to 60 plus miles per hour. Huntland's getting in on the worst of it right now.
Uh-oh.
Belvedere's about to get in on the worst of it here in just a second. And
My
pretty
monitor went
soon,
away. There he is. Okay. So what happened? But yes, absolutely. So really, again, it's really our Franklin County folks that we're talking about. So Estill, it may just stay to the south of you, but the southern part of the city, maybe more toward, if I'm thinking the southern part, the Grant Funeral Home area, factory furniture. If we're going down 41A, maybe that part. But the farther north you go, I think this may stay just to the south of you guys. But definitely the northern extent of this storm is going to hit Deckard and Winchester. Okay, so just be ready for that. And then basically from about Deckard or maybe where the factory furniture is south, all the way down to the state line is where we could see the possibility. Looks like some of the higher reflectivity returns, though, are more on the northern extent of the storm, not as much down here. That doesn't mean necessarily anything. And and Elijah's right. I could go look at velocity all day long. It's not going to give me what I need just because of the positioning of this storm according to the radar. It's just hard to see these. So we're just going to go ahead and assume that any gust of wind down through here could be at that 60-mile-an-hour speed.
yes, absolutely. And I did just get another report that there are a few power outages starting to roll in, especially on the Fayetteville utility side, coming out of Lincoln County, excuse me, in the Brighton area, and then down into Kelso and Flintville as well. So we could, maybe have a few scattered power outages as well as this storm pushes into Winchester and Deckard and Cowan as well. I have the Winchester camera pulled up here right now
That's actually
on
what I
the
was going to
square.
do.
I have it both on the square and the one that is out by the pavilion there on the southwest side of town. So we'll have both of those views coming in. The good thing about Franklin County is we have plenty of sky cameras.
Yes, we
Franklin
do.
County feels the love with the sky cameras of Southern Tennessee weather. I think that unfortunately the Estill Springs camera is down right now, but all the rest of them are ready for use whenever the storms get there.
So
Um,
I went ahead and flipped it over. This is the EMA camera, so you're seeing just the amount of lightning that is going on, and you can catch a couple of glimpses of those clouds, lowering clouds. There's some scud. It looks like
yep.
from the lightning flashes. And so the good thing is that it's pretty electric, so we're kind of getting a really good view of what's going on. That's not always the case with severe storms.
And I will keep I'm going to keep tabs on the weather station that's with that sensor or with that camera,
Okay.
just to see if we can get any jump in the gust there. As this storm continues to push in, the downtown Winchester camera is still fairly quiet. Just some winds out of the south, light winds out of the southwest, but nothing too crazy there, other than the frequent lightning, obviously, that we're seeing now. The thing that I'm noticing right now is the lightning strike count has come down actually a little bit.
Yeah.
So we were up to 70 at one point when this was in far western or far eastern Lincoln County, and now we're down to 33 strikes. Obviously, it's still very electric, and keep in mind that this software is only showing cloud to ground lightning strikes. Okay, it's not counting in the lightning strikes that are occurring within the cloud. So there's it's probably still looks like a disco party. Outside with the strobe lights, and we're seeing that because of the cloud to cloud strikes, not just the cloud to ground strikes here with this storm in Franklin County.
I was going to say, I try to get another look there of downtown. Of course, the square's pretty quiet right now, but you can see off just a little bit off over here to the off to the west a little bit. You can start to see some of that lighting up the sky. And so he's right. Those are just cloud to cloud strikes. Those aren't CG strikes, cloud to ground. So that's what any software that's measuring, and whether you're looking at ours or if you have an app that does that, it's just cloud to ground lightning strikes. So
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
all right.
So I wanted to also take a look. There is a new special weather statement that the Weather Service in Nashville has put out for a thunderstorm that's in far northern Coffee County, including one of me and Christopher's favorite communities, Fudge Around. Now
Yes,
I did turn off the special weather statements earlier when I was making my post, so that's why they're not showing up right
that's
now.
fine. Yeah.
But right over top of Lakewood Park in northern Coffee County, getting some heavy rainfall, maybe some small hail as well. Only two lightning strikes, cloud to ground lightning strikes within the past 5 minutes, so not overly impressive. But you could be seeing still some gustier winds from Epsy Road over to Floyd Road and Woodbury Highway as well, and maybe over towards K Parker Road as well in far northern Coffee County.
Yeah,
And
that's
this
right.
storm is moving toward almost it's moving very quickly off towards the north and east, so it'll be in Canning County here momentarily and out of our viewing area. So really what we're here for right now is obviously the severe thunderstorm. There's some more thunderstorm activity ongoing in Lewisburg and over towards Altamont as well in Grundy County, but obviously our main concern right now is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning we have. And boy, howdy, that that reflectivity core right there is fairly impressive.
That's what I was
Right
looking
on the
at.
edge of right on the edge of the mountain. Could be getting some pretty good sized tail out of that one between Belvedere and Key Springs along State Route 16. Could definitely be getting some hail, maybe up to the size of dimes or nickels, pretty easily there out of that. So a lot of heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of hail as well, but definitely we're talking about the gusty, damaging winds, potentially upwards of 60 miles an hour here.
And there you were. I was went ahead and went to the product to kind of show what you were talking about. That definitely, I think that's pretty much just on radar. That seems to be kind of bullseye right now. That looks like
Yeah.
the strongest area, and that really was. If we go back up 3 or 4 scans, that's where the strongest winds were. That's where we had that bowing there for just a second, and this part of the storm has seemingly again kind of raced out ahead of this line again, it's caught some wave of some energy that's really kind of helped strengthen it. Just a little pocket of instability there that you can see, and so again, this is really our main focus, and really another cell has kind of popped out over the mountain over that, and that can happen sometimes. Mountains terrain does have an effect on propagation of storms, also storm development. And so I thought that was pretty interesting to note that that was not there a couple of scans ago, and it is kind of shot up right there.
Yep.
But anyways, yes, definitely right here in this vicinity, that's where we're seeing the most. I mean, activity right now. That would probably be the hot spot. Even though that the lightning is really off to the north, northwest of that location.
Yeah, the lightning is really centered directly over top of some similar areas that we were talking about last time we were on live. Right there around where Mansford Road comes into State Route 50, there going into Lynchburg on the southern shore of Timms Ford Lake. It's kind of the areas that are getting the worst of the storm right now in terms of the lightning activity, at least. And let me check on the Duck River power outages just to see.
Did it again.
And there is not, I'm not seeing anything crazy here um, with the power outages right now with this particular storm. So that's good news
That is good news.
to report there. So, just taking a look again at the thunderstorm, if it kind of seems like those cells have merged
Mm-hmm.
with the main line, so to speak, with lack of a better word, there, it looks more like a blob at this point more than a line, but it's all kind
Yeah.
of merging together, and just it a lot of heavy rain between Winchester and the Lincoln County line. I would not want to be driving on US 64 right now. That is blinding, heavy rainfall of ongoing from basically the Winchester city limits all the way down to the Lincoln County line. The Huntland's getting in on some really good rainfall right now. If I had to guess, rainfall rates are probably between 3 to 4 inches an hour at this point with
Yeah.
this particular storm. Very easily can happen this time of year. So let me see if there are any questions from the chat room while we're watching here. So um, a lot of people are saying they're getting some thunder and wind in Morrison and seeing some of the lightning off of this storm, you know, from Unionville and Marshall County and places pretty far away. And there's a lot of lightning, or there was earlier. It's kind of died down a little bit since then, but it's still a pretty good light show ongoing here with this severe thunderstorm. I'm still keeping an eye on the Franklin EMA cyclone port here to see if we have any wind gust. We did have a 5 minute wind gust of just under 20 miles an hour, but I don't think the strongest winds have quite reached their location there where that weather station is located. So we'll have to keep an eye on that over the next few moments here.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's probably just a couple of miles away because that's right out there at 64 where the roundabout is. That people cannot drive when I'm out there. But yeah, so yeah, I've got the camera just in a small view, and it's literally, I mean, it is lighting up the sky, kind of like those storms did, like I mentioned in the earlier live stream about a week and a half ago, where it was just almost constant. That's what it feels like, and so definitely a lot of that lightning is pretty much right around Highway 50. That's like where,
Mhm.
like, it seems to be. If you live near Highway 50, that's where a lot of these positive strikes are. We've had a couple of strikes up there, actually, in probably over the lake too. So you guys that have decided maybe you were fishing out there, the lake is the absolute worst place. If you happen to be live streaming us, that would be really cool if you were out there at the lake live streaming us. But it would not be fun for you to be in the lake, okay, on a boat. So
Mhm.
I've been out there. Well, I live in this area long enough. I've been out there a lot of times, and man, that lightning hits. You need to seek shelter for sure. But yeah, you're right. That looks like this blob here. You can kind of see kind of how broken it is. Of course, it's not close enough. Well, it is really close to that radar site there too. But just to see really again that area, which in a good way it is getting to an area that is not very populated. We're getting up into the mountain, and there are people there. It's few and far between, which is nice. If we want this area to go over something, we want the least amount, terrain, secluded, trees, that sort of stuff. And so, but tornadoes had happened. One happened last year was Anderson that was up there, not far from Sherwood. So no, we don't
Mhm.
have to worry about any of that. Just 60-mile-an-hour winds at this point would be the worst of it. And this warning goes to 11:30. So we
And
still
this
got
storm is going to outrun the warning
yes,
very quickly here. It'll be out of the warning polygon in the next 15 minutes. The way how quickly it's moving, because I think it's moving a lot faster than 30 miles an hour.
yeah. I think I
um,
think it's sped up. Yes,
so some people are asking about Winchester and everything else. So we're live due to a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Winchester. The main threat is going to be some gusty winds, maybe upwards of 60 miles an hour, but heavy, blinding rainfall, plenty of cloud to ground lightning. No tornado threat with this activity here. This is just a really strong summertime boomer, late evening boomer in the Winchester area. Now, right now, it's not pouring down rain yet in downtown Winchester. It is out towards Broadview and places out that way. But here in a moment, it's going to start pouring in Winchester and last here for a little bit too. So just
absolutely,
be prepared for a lot of very heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds upwards of 60 miles an hour as well as this activity continues to push off towards the east at, I would say, 40 to 45 miles an hour at this point. It's moving awful quick. Um,
absolutely.
Look and see what the lightning strikes are like within the whole entire thunderstorm there. Just zoom out a little bit so we can get a total strike count. So yeah, I mean we're below 20
Yeah,
lightning strikes in the past couple minutes here. So it's definitely on the downtrend, I think, which is good news. But still, even though it's on the downtrend, we still have a warning in effect, and we're going to take it seriously until the Weather Service decides to let this warning expire here momentarily. Again, this is not a tornado threat. We're not looking at a major widespread damaging wind event. This is just a nice little summertime thunderstorm that could bring some gustier winds here to the Franklin County area. It looked a lot better, a lot more organized here just um, 10 to 15 minutes ago, just west of Huntland. I was getting a little concerned about the damaging wind potential moving into Franklin County, but it seems to be kind of dying down at this point with the worst of the winds.
And interesting enough that this storm was really interconnected with this bigger line. That that's a
And it's
lot.
kind of
It's kind of
they
separated
actually
itself.
they just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning too.
Yes, they
Uh,
did. It is
According to
gone.
that. So it's gone. Yeah. Let me see here with what the Weather Service is saying. Yeah, so they canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Lincoln, and more, and it continues for folks to our south. So the storm that that Huntsville is warned on and is approaching Grundy County, because this storm in Winchester will eventually move into Grundy County, is looking weaker, obviously, and it looks like it's starting to gust out.
Yep.
So even the Weather Service in Nashville isn't concerned about this as it moves into Grundy County. So I guess we can just do a brief overview real quickly. This will probably be our last live for the evening, because I think for the rest of the time we're just going to be dealing with a couple scattered showers and thunderstorms and nothing too crazy. So just kind of giving a brief overview of everything that's going on. We still have a lot of summertime thunderstorms, big time thunderstorms. Winchester, obviously, Altamont also getting in on some of the worst of the thunderstorms right now. Over towards Lewisburg as well, down towards Petersburg, Fayetteville getting some light to moderate rain, and it's just kind of scattered about just like we were expecting, we were forecasting and had been over the past few days. This is going to be just scattered activity. Not everyone was going to see rain, but a few of us could see a pretty nice downpour, a pretty nice thunderstorm. So uh, with that being said, I think that we're good to go for for the rest of the evening here. minus anything crazy that happens over the next few minutes, which I don't think it's going to.
I think everything at this point is again. I think not that storm, like I said, when it got cut off, it started to weaken itself, and again, the energy is really not up here. The storms down south. Just looking at radar, I zoomed out. We went from what 14, 15 strikes to over
Mhm.
320 strikes in the past 10 minutes. So very electric storm. You guys, even in Winchester parts of Lincoln County, if you look to your south, I bet it is lighting it up down there because it is there are thunderstorms everywhere. None of that's expected to reach us. That is all going to stay south. Most of those storms are kind of traveling to, generally speaking, to the east. And so that'll stay south of us. And so, really, again, you're right. Not much to say other than we've got some lightning. You may hear a rumble of thunder or two. You may get a good washing down. But as far as the severe stuff, I think we can pretty much close shop for tonight.
Yep. And just to reiterate for everyone that may just be tuning in because of the storm in Winchester, to be a severe thunderstorm, you have to have 60 plus mile per hour winds or hail up to the size of quarters. If you don't have those two things, a storm is not severe. It can still be strong. It can still have gusty winds. It can still have frequent lightning. It can still have very heavy rainfall, like we're seeing. But by definition, to be severe, you had to meet very specific criteria. And at this point, with the warning being canceled, we're not seeing that this storm meets that criteria. So, um,
Absolutely.
yeah. With
And
that
that's
being
our
said, thank you. Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say that's our threshold,
Yeah.
to come on here and give some severe weather coverage for severe thunderstorms. I know when you think about legacy TV, they don't do that unless there's a really like severe derecho or something like that. But that's not the case for tonight. So, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off of here. Should anything happen, just stick to the socials. A lot of times we have those auto feeds that go through that let you guys know what's going on. But if something should decide to change, we will update you guys accordingly. But it's 11:15. Y'all go sleep
Yes, absolutely.
because that's
Get
what I'm
some
fixing to
rest.
do.
Get some rest.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next time. So have a great evening.
Yes. Bye bye.
Bye. Well.